Good morning, everybody. Mike Vacchi, Princetontrader.com, here with your Wednesday market webcast. All right, so the bears certainly asserted themselves yesterday after the CPI news showed that, big surprise, inflation hasn't gone anywhere. So I widened it out because we had talked about this on Monday. You had this big move down, this consolidation of the lows. They grounded up for 100 and, we did 41.75 into the news from 38.83. It's too early in the morning for math, but it's not quite 200 handles straight up off the lows there from back on September the 7th. So they took most of it out within about 5 minutes or so. The rest of it ground down over the course of the day. As we zoom in the process of taking it down, they took out the monthly pivot. That's your daily mid-band there, the green line. That's your 50-day. The weekly pivot at 40.23 and change. The yellow line there, that's your 100-day. And this turquoise-ish line here is the 9-day. So you're talking about a lot of big areas that got taken out all in one shot. Now, what's the impact of this? Well, it depends what a lot of it depends on what do you want to believe. Do you want to believe that we are getting ready to careen off the edge of the cliff like Wile E. Coyote and make a little circular smoke puff somewhere down the end of the Grand Canyon? If you believe that, then there's a lot more to come out of it. If you believe that it's a one-off, then you got a lot of work to do here because you got to grind up above hourly mid-band, which it's been trying to do since about 4:30 this morning, the 9-day, and then everything that you gave up yesterday. Now, it's not unprecedented because you basically did it last time all the inflation data came around. The point I'm going to try to make to you guys today is that it doesn't matter. With regard to short-term trading and regarding what we do, it doesn't really matter. And this goes back to my recurring theme. Do you want to be right or do you want to make money? If you're running around with charts from decades ago and you spend your existence pointing at that chart and trying to assume this, that, or the other thing, that is a tough way to trade. Because I've seen that chart too, and yes, in a larger sense, it is following the pattern of that chart. But if you start looking where the peaks are on that chart and where the peaks are on this chart, what it really does underscore is how much more volatile this market is than it was back in, I think they're using a 2008 chart, right? For the housing, whatever. Like this particular move up to 41.75 would have blown you out of the water to the tune of 50 or 60 handles before things reversed. And all that does is just make you some totally in the hole swing trader. My suggestion, I humbly suggest that you worry about the 10 handles in front of you and the rest will take care of itself, whether it's up or down. Don't be an ideologue, just go with the flow. So what did we do yesterday? Well, we started the day long because we were long from Monday from back at like 26.75. We came in, we took profits on that. We stayed out of the way of this gigantic candle because we don't blind fade stuff. And then when the market moves like that, I go into self-preservation mode. But what it did nicely yesterday was it kind of settled in around 40.73 there for, a few minutes, right around 8.35, going on 8.40. And that let us get into something that really worked. And then we just kind of did a few trades throughout the day, 37.07.5, which I got stopped out on overnight for 40. And it ends up being a really solid day without having to go crazy. If it had been straight up off of inflation, we would have done something pretty similar to the inverse. The point I'm trying to make is it's not about whether it goes up or down. It's whether you are going with the flow of the market, if you are identifying the key areas and taking advantage of those, whether they're up or down. Don't get dug in. Don't get dug in here. Every time everybody gets all bared up and starts talking about targets thousands of handles below where we are, they get over the tips of their skis and we end up, at some point heading back higher, and then they get dragged behind the bus in these upward moves. Now, maybe this is not the time. Maybe this is it. Maybe we are going down. Maybe we're going to do all kinds of, interesting lows like the COVID low and all this other stuff. I have no idea. And anybody with any credibility has no idea either. And if they're telling you they know, they don't know shit. Nobody knows. What's important today is the following. You have the hourly midband. That's important. The 9-day at 39.91 is important. You've got volume weighted average price that's actually underneath at 39.6241. That's probably going to get a look. If not in Globex, it's going to get a look off the open. Our proprietary moving average is up, kind of locked up with the hourly mid right now, up at 39.68, 39.70. So 62 to 91 is going to be a zone, and this thing, we have more inflation data. You got the PPI coming out at 8:30. So I would imagine it's gonna jumble up the Etch-a-Sketch pretty good all over again. But in the bigger picture, the bears did a really good job yesterday of taking out all of those areas that I mentioned, from the monthly pivot down through the 9-day. If today's news, if the spin on that, if the reaction is positive, the bulls need to do an equally good job of taking them out to the upside. What it provides for the bears is if they kind of half-ass it and say they come back up in here in the area of the daily pivot, weekly pivot, 40.25, which is totally reasonable, and stalls out, then you have a very definable lower high. Now, lower highs don't mean a damn thing if they don't come with lower lows. So if the bears are going to take it down today, the low from yesterday's really got to give way. And if it does, it opens up this 38.83 half pretty nicely. So, and what do the bulls want to do? The bulls are at a major disadvantage anywhere between here and 41.75. It's just a gold-plated invitation for the bears to make a lower high. The bears have to do a lot better job this time than they did the last time they were in this situation, where they just they fought a little bit, and then they just laid down. It's too good of a technical situation for them to lay down. But let the technicals play out. Let price play out. Price is all that really matters in the end anyway. Don't start making gigantic assumptions about what this tape's going to do based upon what you want it to do or what some chart from 20 years ago told you it was going to do. Focus on price, respect risk, and you'll make money, because that's what it's about. It's not about being right. It's about making money. All right. Everybody have a fantastic day. Be safe, be healthy, take care, trade them well. I'll talk to you tomorrow.